you?
I'm good. Trying to figure out this daggone technology.
It's a blessing and a curse.
Well, today has been a curse. It's been a curse, 100%. Look, I'm looking at the wrong side. I'm not used to looking at my my using my phone. I'm like, yeah, y'all looking over here. I'm like, cameras over here, boo boo.
The struggle.
All day. I'm like, please, we need to lead us in 2021.
I know, I feel you. When you need it to work, you're like, cool. You're not working. Right. When you don't need it, you're like, oh.
That's nice that it works. I was like, goodness gracious. I was like, I got up, I ate my breakfast, went and got my clothes out the dryer that I left there overnight. And then I was like, okay, we good. And I went to go pop them headphones in. It was like, nah, you can only hear. Like, you can't talk.
You thought.
You thought incorrectly.
You thought you were prepared.
Mm-hmm. But we're here though now.
Right? I know. My daughter at like 11 o'clock, she was like, I want to go to the park. And I was just like, okay, I can make it. I could totally make it. Make it. And then she kept playing. I was like, okay, I'm not going to make it.
You're fine. I'm off on Thursdays anyway. So I'm like, yeah, you take your time, boo. I don't think she would have let you leave anyway.
No,
even if you said, let's go.
She would have had a full fit. Full fit.
Not a whole, as my mom would say, a conniption.
Well, that's my daughter, guys.
She likes the park. Do you like the park? Oh my gosh, 2021. She's 3 now.
She's 3.
And that time went by so fast because I remember when she was like baby.
I know, baby. She was the size of my forearm, and now she's like half my size. And just legs. I'm like, how? And like having sentences. And she's like, Mommy, come check this out. I'm like, first of all, why do you know how to use that?
Right.
First of all,
come check this out.
Like, Mommy, I don't think that's a good idea. Who's the parent? Why are you telling me that's not a good idea? And then I think you're right. That's not really a good idea. I don't know why I said that.
Look at she like, I told you, but whatever. Like,
basically.
I was like, oh, she like a whole functioning little human being now.
A whole human. She's a whole human. And now she's starting to say, Mommy, you're black. I'm like, yeah, I am. You are right.
You're right.
Do you know what color you are? And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay, so you're a mulatto.
Yes, honey. We got some color too, boo-boo. It's in you too, baby girl.
And though you look light skin, blue eyes, and blonde hair.
That's okay. There's exceptions to every rule. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But yeah, how's life been? You up here coaching now? Last time I saw you.
Life is amazing.
I guess the only time I saw you was for my birthday.
I know, right? I think so. Literally, I think so. But no, I mean, life is great. My husband and I bought our first house together. So that's awesome.
Congrats.
Yep. 2 championships later, which is awesome. And we didn't win this year, but in indoor, but we made it to the Final 4.
Okay.
Which is still solid. It's great. So the program is really, really thriving.
That's good. And especially coming off of COVID too. I mean, that could have went either way. It could have went good or bad.
Especially coming off of COVID. And our beach win, like we had exactly 10 kids. And they were all indoor players. Like none of them, like except for one, was a true beach player. Okay. And they learned from scratch, and we pulled out that win.
Hey, that's what's up. See, I told everyone we were just talking about that last night about how the difference between indoor and outdoor, and I'm like, yo, you get these indoor players. Well, you get the outdoor players that go play indoor. Yeah, and it's like, okay, we can figure it out, but you get them indoor players that go play outdoor.
To play beach. It's a process. It's a process.
Shoot, everything.
It is a process. You don't get it. You're like, oh yeah, it's volleyball. Is it?
Is it?
Is it?
You're like, oh, there's sun. Oh, okay. Oh, there's wind too.
There's wind too. Oh,
and
the
I can't
ground
jump.
is moving.
Oh. Okay, so I'm not. Okay, so I can't
Okay.
pass as well as I.
Oh, that's what we're
Okay, so
doing.
we got to work on this.
That's
Okay,
what
okay,
we're
okay. Let's
doing.
go.
Okay. We're doing this.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's literally how they looked at me too. They were like, "Do we really have to do this?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah."
Yeah.
But you're gonna
You.
love it.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I'm like, I love beach over indoor all day long
Hmm.
because I just feel like I have more freedom to do
Yeah,
literally whatever it is I want to do, and I could be more creative
I feel that.
on the in the sand.
And those are all the reasons why everyone ends up loving beach.
Hmm.
Because it's on you. You get to be creative. You get to strategize. Like it's mental and
Hmm.
it's grit. It's gritty. You know,
Yeah.
and indoor. It's more power oriented.
Hmm.
But I can never decide. It's kind of like one of those moments where it's like whatever child needs mommy's love the most.
Uh-huh. That's who gets it.
Exactly. And I'm like, okay, it's indoor season. I love indoor. No, it's beach season. Forget indoor. I love beach.
Hmm. Indoor who, baby?
Exactly.
So, question though. So, has she, little baby Marita, is she starting to take up like a liking for volleyball at all, or just being around you, like on the court, or is she like taking it up at all? I know she only 3.
It's funny because she like she understands it. She like knows
Hmm.
okay volleyball what mommy does, but she
Hmm.
has like no interest. She likes soccer.
Oh,
And no one
okay.
plays soccer. No one in my family plays soccer. So I'm
Where'd
like,
she
how
get that
did that
from?
happen? Like one day she just picked up a ball and started kicking it and started like juggling with it. Not in soccer class. Was not in soccer class. And I'm
Okay.
like, and I'm looking at her principal. I'm like, do you guys do this in class? And they're like, no,
No.
no. I'm like, all right, well, that's what we're doing.
And the
Guess I'm
teacher
signing
like,
her
do
up for
you?
soccer.
Yeah. And the teacher's like, do you do this at home? And then you
Yeah, and
looking
I'm
at her
like,
like,
no.
no.
She's like, does anyone play soccer? I'm like, no. We
Mm-mm.
don't even watch soccer.
Yeah, I
I
was gonna
don't know
say,
where she
where'd she
got.
get that
I
from?
don't know. I have no idea. But she was juggling, and I'm like, I should know how to do that. This was when she was 2.
Oh, okay. Well, athletics just run in the family
Yeah,
anyway.
I mean,
So,
she's gonna have athletic genes for days. So,
hmm,
but I'm a hand-eye coordination type of girl, not so much
hmm,
foot-eye coordination. So,
nah. I'm like, I gotta know where I'm running. Ball, you where sliding? What? No,
right.
no, 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 no. It's too much.
My goal for her is tennis, but because
Okay.
my mom didn't really get that out of me, so
Hmm.
I'm gonna try again with her.
Is that the sport that has been passed down, and we're like, we hoping you get into tennis, we get into
Yep,
tennis, and
literally, literally, generational wishes.
and that's all they're gonna be our wishes. One day, eventually,
One day,
somebody will pick up
someone is gonna
tennis.
take up tennis.
But once they pick up like racquetball or like
So
pickleball or something, it
close,
won't even be
so
tennis for
close,
real. Badminton.
right? So
Yo,
close. But my luck, she's gonna take up dance, and I'll be like, I know nothing about this. I know
you on
nothing
your own,
about this
baby girl.
sport.
I don't know.
Like I don't know.
She'll be just fine. I mean, if she
Oh yeah,
figured out
she'll be
soccer on
fine.
her own or just
Oh yeah,
dribbling, she'll be good.
for sure. I mean, honestly, knowing her, she's gonna do like a little bit of everything probably, because
Hmm.
she's so curious
Okay.
and she likes to be busy.
Ooh, that's
So
good.
like right now in her daycare, we signed her up for soccer, obviously.
Hmm.
Then she does basketball and swimming,
Oh,
and that's at her daycare. Her daycare is worth every penny. I love it, and they take her,
dang.
Like they don't even have to leave the building.
Really?
Hmm.
Oh, okay. I know daycares are stepping it up nowadays. I'm like,
I'm like, you guys are worth every penny.
goodness. I was like, before it was just like, look, we just gonna watch your child just to make sure they don't run
Exactly.
away or
It's like, who
something.
cares
But
if I don't get to eat this month? It's fine.
right, you'll be. No, I'm not hungry. You're
I'm not
hungry.
hungry. It's fine.
We were just talking about that too last night at dinner. I went and played out at Forzano. We played
Mhm.
some doubles, and we were talking about just multi-sport athletes. And weirdly enough, actually, like every episode that I've filmed so far, we've all been talking about how everyone's a multi-sport athlete, and like how nowadays it's just like every athlete, it seems to be, specializes in just volleyball.
Yeah.
And it specializes in just soccer or just basketball. So how in the world, I guess, how, how did your mama think, with her being an Olympia, how did she think that you were going to be anything other than volleyball? Like,
I don't know. I
where'd
mean,
she get
she
that
really
from?
wanted me to go the tennis route. Like, she was really pushing. Like, my coach traveled with us on vacations. Like, that's how hardcore tennis was. Yeah, but I did. I mean, my mom did cheerleading, track, basketball, and volleyball when she was growing up. And then I did tennis. I did track. I was a swimmer. And then I did volleyball. Basketball wasn't really my thing. I tried it, didn't really like it. But like, we always like were active, you know? So I guess from her standpoint, she was just like, okay, well, when it comes the time where you need to make a decision, you need to make a decision. And like my sophomore year, junior year in high school, that's when she was like, okay, we need to start narrowing it down.
Okay.
You know, and so I picked the two. I picked volleyball and tennis, and volleyball won.
I was gonna say, because I'm like, well, at least she gave you, almost said she gave you the option, but you did have the real estate to like, let me see what it is that I actually want to do.
For sure.
Because parents nowadays, at least
they pigeonhole their kids.
Yeah.
Because they're like, thinking so, like, you get to a point, and I see that now, like having a daughter, like you get to a point where you're thinking so far ahead that you forget about the present. You know, and you're like, this is going to be perfect for their future. They need to do this. But there's so many phases along the way to get to that point that you miss out on or you forget. And you have to develop the person first before you get to the future, you know?
Yes.
And I think parents, especially from a recruiting aspect, start to forget about that. And they get so involved and they don't let their kids speak. And yeah, I mean, I've had parents call me to like on behalf of their kid for recruiting. I'm like, I want to talk to the kid.
Wait, what? But you're not playing though. Like,
exactly.
I'm not recruiting you.
Can I talk to her? Is that okay? What does she think?
Matter of fact, give her the phone, please.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, you know, you got to make a decision for yourself. And even like with my players, you know, like I try to encourage them to think for themselves and okay, what do you think? You know, what is your gut saying? You know, if we don't teach them to be able to make decisions, then they get to the point where they're in college and they're like, what's my next job? I'm like, go to class.
Yeah.
Do your homework. Have you eaten today? Like, you know, so there's so many steps that you end up missing, and when you focus too far ahead, you know.
And that's another thing that I was like, I want to, for 2022, you know, I want to live in the moment more, because with the podcast, I want it to take off, so you get wrapped up in the editing, and then the who else am I gonna record with, and then I gotta shout them out, and you just lose track of like, oh damn, like I've been working on this for like 4 days now, and just all blended together. So it's good that that they are like just in the moment, and thinking of what do you need to do. Just taking one step at a time, boo boo. You can only control the here and now anyway. So
exactly, like it's good to have your plan, but be in the moment, because otherwise you might not get to there.
True.
You know, and like this year for me, I like had a lot of personal deaths. You know, like close friends, and I'm like, like I want to enjoy myself, my time, and not think so far into the future that I forget about the now, and stuff that I want to do that enriches my soul. And we forget about that too, like as adults, with our own selves. And it's like, you have one life. You got to be able to enjoy the moment. If you can't do that, then you can't enjoy your future.
Yeah, exactly. What future if you can't take care of now? I've been wanting to ask you this question. You see, I gotta resituate. I gotta, get ready, get the right, get the shoulder and so I know that you're obviously the results show for themselves. You're a sickening coach. We already knew that. But you're a sickening player too. Okay. So I had heard that a little while ago, somebody was training and they were going to have a little comeback and they was going, I heard you was bouncing balls on the beach. Come on, curls.
Stop.
I don't know who could have told me that, but
I mean, I always played around with the idea, like getting back in shape and coming back to play, and I think it would just be more for fun, just because I'm so content in like my role as a coach now, and I love the teaching aspect. And I was actually telling my friends a couple of days ago, I'm like, I don't miss playing. Like, I don't miss the playing aspect. Like, for fun, yeah, like I'll go out and I'll play. Although the last time I did play, I couldn't feel my entire body, including my hair.
Including my follicles.
I was like, ooh. But I loved getting out there and playing with like people I haven't like played with in a while, or people that I played against, so that is fun for me, but like going out and like maybe having to register to play and, try to win my money back. I'm like, I'll coach you.
Right.
I'll coach you. You want to win that money? I'll coach you.
Yes.
I'll strategize for you. I'll do video for you. Like, I got you. No.
You said, just let me be in the background.
I will do like the adult nationals from time to time if it's in my area. Okay. I will do that because that's fun.
Right. If it's in my area.
It's in my area.
Because I love me a good volleyball tournament, but some of these destinations require
it's
some
like
coins.
My daycare. I'm like, I have to give up daycare or go play. I'm not willing to give up my daycare.
No, absolutely not. I wouldn't either. Shoot, because volleyball's gonna be there, especially, and things are popping up now. Like now we have grass threes, which grass in general. I'm like, who likes playing grass? Like who? I want to know that person that's like, oh my gosh, grass is my favorite apparatus, my favorite surface.
They're out there.
I just need to know who, because I can't.
I'm telling you, they're out there.
I tag them or something, baby.
I'm telling you, they're out there.
I can't. Like, I don't know if I should wear shoes or if I should not wear shoes. That's the first one.
That's facts.
And then, like, some places you play, it's more dirt than grass. So it's like, then you wear your shoes, then you slip in if you go to pivot. And I'm like, I can't even play my game for real. So why do I want to play on grass?
I played one grass tournament in my life. One. It was fun. I had a great time.
And she said that was it.
That was it.
That's all I needed.
And I was young. I was like, I couldn't feel my back afterwards. I was like, and I still played. I was still playing at the time. I was like, oh no. Mm-mm.
Not at all.
No.
Yeah, I can't. They'd be like, oh, you want to play? Because what is it? Gainesville Volleyball. They do a bunch of grass tournaments, and they're like, oh, you should come up. You should put a team together. I'm like, first off, to find the people to stick with
playing.
It. Right. Number one, who's playing? Who's on the team?
What position am I playing?
Hello? And then who else is playing?
Right.
Where's it going to be at?
How long is this? Is this a morning thing, an all-day thing?
Look, because some of these tournaments, and you know, the volleyball community as
Mhm.
a whole is very, I feel like we real laid back, we real
Yeah.
chill.
Yeah.
So some of these starting times, we say starting
Starting
times.
times.
No,
Yep.
8:30, hard 8:30 starting time.
Ball in the air at 8:30.
Okay. We just now doing registration and explaining rules at 9 o'clock.
Right.
I'm like, okay, cool, cool. All right. But
That's so true.
it's so
That's so
frustrating.
true.
But I love it. Yeah, I done got my leg up here. I'm feeling comfortable now. So
Right.
okay, so I ask everyone this.
Mhm.
Um, what was your that moment where you're like, oh, what's that? Okay, so you see I'm on my phone now. Now all the daggone notifications come through. I'm like, well, what's
That-
that? What's that? What's that? I'm like, this is why I don't do things on my phone.
Don't look away.
Right. And but then I got the camera facing this way in the screen. So I'm like, I gotta look at it.
It's like that TikTok where your eyes are like look forward and then look away, and your eyes go
Like a little chameleon.
well,
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I just technology today. The word of the day on Sesame Street is technology.
technology.
And I'll just fill in.
Do we love it? Do we hate it?
Or do we hate
Do we
it?
hate to love it?
Right. Is it necessary?
It's a necessary.
It's necessary.
It's a necessary evil.
So for me, now that I'm done coughing and having a conniption, and look, and now battery low.
I
Okay,
keep getting you off focus. That's me.
no, that's me too. Because I'm like, okay, now I'm ready, and it's like your battery low. I'm like, girl, get out my face, leave me alone. So when was the moment when you were younger when you're like, okay, volleyball is what I want to do. Like this is whether it be coaching, whether it be playing, whether it be whatever. I
Mhm.
know I want to be surrounded with volleyball. What was that moment for you?
I mean, my whole life was
Mhm,
volleyball. You know, so
mhm,
I kind of grew up instinctively knowing that that was what I was going to do. You
okay.
know, like the original plan was to go the national team route, but
Mhm,
I got injured a lot, especially when I went pro. You know, I had my dislocated shoulder, I had compartment
mm,
syndrome, I hurt my back. Like it was, so I was like, maybe that's not the route I'm going to go, you know,
mhm,
but I was always a good coach,
mhm.
despite the fact that I was like, I'm never going to coach. And and look where I am.
No,
I've
no,
been
right?
coaching since I was 17. So, and even in high school, like people were like, oh, it's the volleyball girl, you know. So, despite me playing a bunch of other different sports,
Uh-huh.
so I just think it was just always going to be volleyball, you
Mhm,
know. And I will say this though, like as a career, I do like I love being in the college spectrum because I love the aspect of helping the next generation find their footing, you
mhm.
know, not just like from a volleyball aspect, but from a life aspect, you know, because it's the
Yes.
last stop before they are on their own,
Mhm.
you know, so I love that. And so my goal is to become an AD one day so
Okay.
that can like help more than just the volleyball kids and the volleyball
Yeah.
community, you know, and the female athletes, you know, because I feel like I have a lot of insight to give from my upbringing,
Mhm,
you know, and I want to give that back, you know, and that's just what I want to do, you know. So
mhm,
like it's volleyball has just been my way in the door, and I'm finding now like different pockets to help other people, you know, and
mhm.
it's just been that route.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because the volleyball has evolved so much from
Yeah.
just the sport of volleyball,
Yep.
and to now you have sand, and now you have the grass, and then even like cross net, like just
Snow.
no
Snow.
snow. Oh yeah, I think you said
No.
no. I was like, oh, we don't like cross net.
No.
What they do?
Like
What they
no.
do?
Like I'm pretty sure there's a cross net.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah, you're like, no, no, that doesn't exist anymore. Sorry, baby, you're wrong. I was like, yeah, you're
No,
right.
snow volleyball too. Like there's so many
Mm-mm.
volleyball has evolved. I mean, it's the most played sport in the world.
Mm-hmm.
People just don't really understand that yet. You
Yeah.
know, from a recreational standpoint, from a competitive aspect, you know, like there's so many people that play volleyball,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I think the next one is soccer. Those two, like as a global, you know.
Yeah, and then here I feel like they're like secondary sports along with the
Yeah,
tennis and soccer, volleyball, pretty much anything that's not football, basketball, baseball.
which is a shame because especially like for like the African American females, like you get
Mm-hmm.
pigeonholed into women's basketball or go study.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So unless you can find like another avenue or
Oh, yep.
track or women's basketball, unless you can find like another avenue, that's really it for you.
Yeah.
And then the boys, you have basketball, football, maybe a little bit of baseball, track. You
Mm-hmm.
get pigeonholed into those sports, and there's so many other sports out there. Like talking to Jeff Samuels, I didn't even know he played ice hockey. He played ice hockey, and he's this
Wait,
monster of a beach player.
really? Oh, I just spoke to him the other day. I asked him if he
Really?
wanted to do it. Yeah, he was like, absolutely. I was like, okay, cool. That's
Yeah.
actually his notification just popped up because it was
Really?
like Jeff just posted something. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
oh,
my
okay.
boy.
I was like, yeah, he's good peeps.
He's
He's
good
good
people.
peeps.
Yeah, he's really good people. hmm Yeah, he played ice hockey.
Random.
Random, right?
Super random.
Exactly. And it's like,
In a place
it's
where
like
you like,
what? Is
you
that one
don't.
brother?
Yeah, that right. That one brother
That one brother.
representing for all of us. Like we could do it too, boo. If I could do it, you could do it too.
Right.
And
Exactly. I mean, and it takes that one to be like, oh, okay, I can find my way into this niche. You know what I mean? And
mm-hmm,
that's all it is. Like, everyone says about the representation,
mm-hmm.
but there has to be representation. Like, you have to create opportunities where there can be representation.
Yes.
And I mean, it starts with us. I'm starting a little league down in Miami Gardens to
Okay.
help the community get volleyball.
Okay.
So I've partnered with the city of Miami Gardens and we're calling it the Little Rockets. But
Ooh.
it's from the ages 13 and under
Okay.
to help develop volleyball in the community. It's all indoor, for now. And then hopefully it'll grow into beach. But,
Okay.
you have to create those opportunities, Like my
Yes.
bosses will always be like, why isn't there a lot of African Americans on my team? They're all Latina. And I'm like, well, because there's not a lot of us out there. And
Yeah.
if they're good, they go to the MEAC, the SWAC, the SEAC, or they go D1.
Yeah. I
And
mean.
they're not looking at an AI. They're trying to get out.
hmm
So you got to create those opportunities.
Yeah, that's what Coach Powell was saying too, in that first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Is that she was like they're doing clinics as well,
Mm-hmm.
for people who look like us, so
Yeah.
that way at the end of the day, that we will be their first choice,
Mm-hmm.
and so that they know that we're here for them.
Yeah.
Like we great too. Yeah, she's like, look,
Exactly.
I was an Olympian,
Mm-hmm.
and
Exactly.
why would you not want to go play for an
100%.
Olympian? Like I would
100%.
jump on that. That's just like Deion Sanders over at Jackson State. I'm like, all these black boys, I'm like, if y'all don't take y'all behinds over to Jackson State and let that man
Yeah.
coach you on
Right.
what it takes to not only get to the next level, but to have a sustainable career, like a healthy, productive
Yeah.
career.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm doing too. Like, have you heard of the company Bold Nation?
Of what?
Bold Nation?
Bold Nation?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it's a newer company, sporting company, but his name is Christian. He's the founder. I think he's Colombian. I
Mm-hmm.
believe he's Colombian. But I coach for him and North Miami Beach Academy or
Okay.
Volleyball Academy. I don't know. But they out in Sunrise, and so the idea is to get all of these kids, little brown skinned kids, little black kids who look
Yeah.
like us, to get their asses up off the streets, get your
Yeah.
behind, like start doing productive things with your time,
Right.
and think of volleyball or whatever sport. He has soccer, basketball, football, everything, but to be like, oh, okay, so it's not a. I thought volleyball was a girl
Was a
sport.
girl sport.
I thought it was, like a sissy sport, like.
Right. Which, ironically enough, it started off as a men's sport.
So it's like, if you could be a basketball player, there's no reason for you not to be a volleyball player.
Yeah,
There's
100%.
no reason.
And you'd be surprised, like, how many basketball players at my school had come up to me and like, "Are you going to start a men's team?" And I'm like, "With what time, boo boo? I would love to, but I need help."
Right.
I had at least like 25 because there's a bunch of them because they have a JV and a varsity team.
Okay.
About 25 of them come up to me and like really have been hounding me to start a men's team.
Really?
Like hounding me. It's great. Yeah.
Well, have they done like they could start like a club team or something? I mean,
Yeah, I suggested that. They just were like, you would have to be in charge of it. I'm like,
but you see, I got a full-time job.
I have indoor, I have beach, I have the 3-year-old that keeps yelling at me in the background.
I'm surprised she hasn't popped on this.
She's knocked on the window a couple times. And I'm like,
she like, who that on that phone? Who on that phone, mama?
Like, you're supposed to be doing something.
Checks your itinerary. She's like, it says at this time you're supposed to be making lunch because I'm hungry right now. What you doing?
There's a commercial on my TV right now that needs to be changed. Why are you sitting over there? I don't understand.
She's gonna like hand you a pager and be like, look, whenever I need you, keep this on your hips.
Just keep it on you.
So, oh my gosh. I hope I ain't got. No, I don't have COVID. I don't have COVID or whatever it is. COVID, Omarion or Omicron. I don't know what it is.
All of it.
I'm like, what is it? Is it the flu? Is it a cold? Is it
all of it?
I'm just feeling under the weather. That's what I'm gonna say.
There you go.
When you are going about because is it camp or is it clinics?
It's gonna be a clinic / league.
Okay.
So it's 4 weeks, and they get 2 sessions a week.
Okay.
And they'll do like clinic and play. So they get used to working on their skill and then incorporating it into play.
Ooh, okay. That's good. And then
so I'll do one in January, I'll do one in March, and then I'll do one in May.
Okay. And then how many kids you got so far for it?
I have no idea, honestly. The city of Miami Gardens has been doing all the registration and stuff, and I'm like, all right, well, we'll figure it out when I get there. Just
good attitudes, please. That's all I ask.
Exactly. And like, I just want to help and try to build it that way. And then I think the more and more it gets out there, word of mouth, and I haven't even posted about it yet, just because it's still very new. It's still like, in the works, but then we'll start pushing and promoting it and stuff like that.
That's good. Because it would be nice to, that's another thing we spoke about too. I think I told Coach White that I feel like it's very, like the volleyball is very isolated down here. And I feel like, what somebody has going on, that's what they got going on. Yeah. And then what somebody else got going on, but they don't mix, they don't mingle, and there's no real, like, there's a volleyball community down here, but it's like the South Beach crew, and then there's a Deerfield crew, and then there's a Fort Lauderdale crew, and it's like you play there and you don't really play anywhere else. So it would be nice to.
Which is interesting you say that, because I wanted to reach out to the surrounding clubs in the area to help, because it's really a volunteer type of situation. Like I could maybe pay for your gas, maybe, because that's be expensive now.
Right. For real.
But like the whole point of like my program is to help funnel these kids and expose them so that they can go to clubs. There's so many clubs. Like I think in our area, there's about 9 clubs surrounding Miami Gardens. that they could go into different directions. But that no one goes to Miami Gardens.
Yeah.
There's a lot of athletes there, you know? So if like all these clubs like pick a day, will come, a couple of their coaches come, you know, get to know the kids, teach them, then those are potential kids that they can bring over to their club once they age out of my program.
Yes.
You know, because they'll eventually age out. You know, and that's like a way of bringing the community together into one area, you know, because we're all in this together. It's all volleyball, you know, and the better we work together, it betters our sport. It helps the athletes get better, you know, and it helps the community, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, especially that community aspect, because I'm like, I feel like I go to like DC, everybody in DC know everybody. Like everybody playing with and Kansas City, pretty much the same, just because I think the volleyball is not as many opportunities to play. And so it is it would be nice if Florida volleyball could, like, if we could cultivate our volleyball athletes and then keep them in the state of Florida, and have them go to a Florida Memorial and have them go to these institutions and these places that look like us.
100%.
And they're able to just, and that's another thing too, is able to be themselves and be comfortable being themselves on the court, because you and I know, you know, we run things a little differently now. We got a lot of energy. So when we express ourselves, I feel like at times it is taken the wrong way. It is, why are you mad? But like, why are you angry? And I'm like, we can't be passionate? Because I'm sitting here looking around at everybody else yelling and hollering and celebrating. But I feel like when we do it, it's like, well, hold up now. So it would be great to have the kids, younger kids, start them young, to see successful Black men and women. And be like, oh, okay, no. Like, I can play volleyball. I can be successful in volleyball, because when I was coming up, yes, a whole career.
A whole career.
As the community comes together, that comes with more coaching opportunities, especially in high schools, because you're going to take all of that. Now, okay, we got all these boys that want to play volleyball. Let's go ahead and start a volleyball program. And you're starting from scratch, but the talent isn't like it's at there. The bare minimum.
Talent is
They've
there.
Been working on it.
Talent is there. You know, and it's funny you were mentioning about like, oh, I can't be passionate because, you know, like, especially in the brown community too, that happens. Like not all my girls, but the majority of my team are Latinas, right? But they're from all over the place. Like I have a Spaniard, I have Puerto Ricans, I have Brazilians, I have a girl from Uruguay, I have like a bunch Dominican, like I have a bunch of girls from Cuba. Like they're from all over the place. Dang. And we were playing this year, and some of the crowd was getting kind of, you know, rowdy, but it was fun. Like it wasn't like disrespectful. Like it was fun. And we weren't home, you know, we were away. And so my kids started playing to the crowd. They were like, oh, what? I didn't hear you. Like, you know, like they were playing to the crowd. And the ref came at my kids. And he was like, oh, you guys have to be quiet. And I'm like, no. The crowd is taunting us. Like, you can't tell my team, like, they're not being disrespectful. They're not doing anything to the crowd. And he's like, yeah, but you're going to incite something. I'm like, then you need to talk to the home gym about their fans.
Correct.
It has nothing to do with my kids. We're visitors, right? So the game goes on. We win.
She's like, end of story.
So the ref comes down. My team's cheering. And he proceeds to come up to my players to talk to them about like what was going on. And so my players were like looking at him like, what's going on? I was like, no, you guys go to the locker room. I was like, you can address me now because the game is over. So you can talk to me. And he was like, oh, well, you know, I just didn't want there to be a problem because you know how those Puerto Ricans are. And I was like, no, I don't. I don't know how those Puerto Ricans are. I'm Black. So what are you talking about?
Right.
So I don't understand. And he was like, oh, well, you know, they can get a little bit passionate. And I was like, so can I. So I don't understand what your point is. And he was like, oh, I just didn't want trouble. And I was like, listen, first of all, it wasn't even my Puerto Ricans that were talking to the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your first mistake. You can't typecast everyone as being the Puerto Ricans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not all the same.
Correct.
Second of all, you don't address my kids after the game without coming to me.
Mm-hmm.
Now the game is over. You can talk to me.
Yes.
Next, I will be talking to your supervisor about what you just said, because that is completely unacceptable. And he was like, oh, I don't want trouble. I'm like,
but you started trouble. Like,
it's
you
too
were
late.
the trouble.
It's too late.
Should have thought about that while you were sitting up there.
While you were sitting there talking, I was just like, wow, you did not just say that to me. It's crazy.
I mean, that's just like going up to, that's just like you being at the park with your daughter and then going up to somebody else's child and being like, no, you don't do this. And somebody else's parent gonna be like, wait, hold up now. Who are you? Like, you come talk to me about that. You don't address the players like that, especially after the game is over. Your job is done.
Cheering,
So
they were like in their little, like. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You better than me, sis. Because, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. That happened.
And that's.
It's sad. It's sad that these kids still have to go through that. Like, they can't be comfortable in their skin. Like, I have a girl, like, she's a sweetheart. Just a sweetheart. But if you look at her, you're like, oh, she's a bitch. Like, excuse my language, but
ew.
But she is just she's a sweetheart. And in a game, she's like the first one, like, wow, like, and other teams would like yell in her face, the rest would say nothing. But then she would get yellow cards. Like, even just for looking at them. And the down ref would even come out to me and be like, oh, well, she looked like she was going to say something. I'm like, what does that even mean? She looked like she was going to say something.
Like,
yellow card. So then it shut her down so badly. Like, I had to like keep talking to her, like, hey, if I'm not telling you that you're doing something wrong, then you don't worry about it. You let me worry about the rest. But if I tell you that you're wrong, then you're wrong.
Yeah.
But you're not doing anything wrong. Like, I'm your supervisor, okay? And she was so down for like a couple games. Like, it was really sad. Like, I was like, dude, they're attacking this kid. And for what? Like, she's doing the same thing that everyone's doing. She's cheering, she's yelling. Even my supervisor at one game started yelling at the refs. And like, more than I was. He's like, she didn't even do anything. And I was just like, yeah, exactly. It was really sad.
Can you hear me fine?
Yep.
Okay. Woo. So the last thing we spoke about on the last one, it was good too, because when I cut off, you were like just ending your what you were talking about, and you were talking about your athlete who always be getting the yellow cards.
Yeah.
With the and the ref acted up and crap. It's funny to me how, like, well, it's not funny, but it's aggravating how I feel like the moment we show emotion for something that others can benefit from, it's like, yes, sis, yes.
Yeah.
But then, like, when we stand up for ourselves and we're like, no, this happens in our communities. Well, that's racist, don't you think?
It's aggressive.
It's aggressive.
You're making me uncomfortable.
You seem angry. You're
making me uncomfortable.
Right. And I'm like, so the effect, there's no cause to the effect?
Right.
I just showed up with an attitude.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Yep.
Awesome.
It's It really is.
Ridiculous. Oh, so how's your kids do? Have you started your program yet for is it Miami?
No, because they're of the outbreak, we pushed it to March.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna push it, and I'm gonna start advertising it with the dates to be determined, just until COVID dies down. But we're gonna open up the registration portal, and and start at least getting kids to register and stuff like that. But it's gonna be nice. It's called the Little Rockets. And it's gonna be out of Bunch Park, and and I'm partnering with the City of Miami Gardens.
Yes.
So hopefully they'll be able to start in March once COVID kind of.
Because I'm still coaching out at Sunrise.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just had 3 new athletes show up
Nice.
last Wednesday. So they don't care. They be walking in with no mask on.
Everyone's like, "Oh, I had COVID during the break. I'm good. I'm good for 3
All right.
more
I was
months."
like, "Oh, okay. Well, I did not." So,
if I had a quarter for every time I've heard someone say that, I'm like, okay. I guess that's how we're dealing with this.
I'm like, well, you can still get sick, boo. Like,
I don't think that's how that works, but okay.
It is not.
I haven't had it yet. Knock on wood.
I know. Neither have I. Hopefully, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like, I could have been asymptomatic because it's like I'm playing volleyball and working out on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I get tested every week, so.
Oh, for shit. Ooh, I know that's annoying. Ooh.
Yeah, every week.
All up in your nasal cavities.
Yep, every Monday. I know. So every time, like, my husband or daughter gets sick, and he's like, "Oh, I hope we don't have COVID." I'm like, "We don't have COVID because I just got tested yesterday."
Right. We don't, but
we know. We're good.
Thanks for the concern, though.
I know. We're good. It's okay.
Oh my gosh. So, how much beach to indoor did you play when you were growing up?
When I played? When I mean, once we were done with indoor season, I trained and played beach. Not as much as people do today, which I wish it was bigger when I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it was that long ago, but
right.
especially in Tallahassee, it just wasn't. This wasn't big. It was just more pickup than anything, and when I was graduating and transitioning out, I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll go pro beach, but then I ended up going pro indoor.
Okay.
Yep. But I always loved beach. I always kept playing pickup or something like that, and I just loved it. And then I just never made the leap to go into the circuit or anything like that. So I just trained the kids.
Do you ever? I know, I know on the last one, it's all gonna be one episode. I'm gonna have some editing to do.
I know.
To make it flow, but I'll be good. Do you ever go back, because when it was first starting, do you ever think like, okay, oh yeah, I could have ran this shit. I could have ran this show. Cause who over here? Oh, you thought you was gonna stop what? Yeah, that's cute.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, at my prime, I was a great athlete. I was fast. I could jump in the sands. I had a good vision for it, a good IQ for it. If I really committed to it, then I could have done some good damage.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Are you gonna start a club like your mama?
Huh?
Did your mama have a club? Did she have a club?
Yeah, she had one in Tallahassee.
Okay.
Yeah.
You gonna start a club,
we had
a beach
for 6
club?
years, and it went. To the point where all of our teams qualified for nationals. They all were in gold. Yeah. Even our 2 teams. Yeah, we built a really good program.
Dang.
Yeah, North Florida Volleyball Academy.
Dang.
Yep. Ooh. And it was cool too, because whenever coaches would come and look at our kids, they'd be like, we can tell that they're your kids because they all have the same technique. They all look the same. And I was like, oh, great.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a huge compliment, you know, and a testament to our coaches too, because like they all, like we all had the same vision, and they all like went with the same method and programming, you know.
Ooh, that's what's up.
And we have a special guest.
Hey,
Come here,
special
sweetie.
guest.
Hi. Say hi.
Good morning. She said that's new. That's somebody new.
Yeah.
Look, she said last time I let you slide because I was knocking on this window and you ain't answering me.
Basically.
This time.
She's like, this time I want a guest appearance.
Oh, them pretty eyes, sis. Oh, you got them pretty eyes. She said, let me get up in the camera. You like them? She said, fluttering the eye. You like them?
You know she's cute too.
Right. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with being confident.
All right, go back inside before you get cold, okay, sweetie? Mommy will be in a second. You need to check out my boxing gym.
Is that Floyd's gym, Mayweather?
Yeah. It's their newer one. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. The first class is free.
And I know I'm gonna love it too, because I don't like.
I'm gonna love it.
I don't like just going to the gym and then like, okay, this piece of machine, let's work on this machine. Okay,
Exactly.
let's go on this machine.
Me
I don't
too.
like that.
And that's what I love about this. Like, it's always, and you're going. Like, you go for that whole 45 minutes to an hour. Like, you're going.
Yes.
And they do like technical stuff with you too, and there's like a fitness portion. Like, yep.
Ooh. Okay.
It's fun.
Let me check her out. Well, you know, let me get this damn car first, because look, I'm sitting here making all these plans. I'm like,
that part.
This whole, and then now I'm looking at cars. I'm like, why is everything so damn expensive?
Because of the shortage.
There's a shortage?
Yeah. Yeah. My mother-in-law has been trying to get a car for the past year. And like, because she has a Subaru Forester or something like that. And every Subaru she calls, yeah, we're out. We don't have a shipment coming for 2-3 months, and then they're already reserved. Yeah.
And then you already know they hiked
up
them
car
prices.
dealerships have been doing is jacking up like their fees and prices and stuff, because it's a supply and demand market right now.
Damn.
I know,
I might
right?
have to get me a little moped or something and just call it a day. For real. Moped from here to Boca Grove.
Down 95.
Going down
the little goggles.
With my fro all over the place, child, just wild. Cutting in and out of traffic, child, as we do down here in Florida. Child.
You'll end up on the only in Dade site real quick.
I love the Only in Dade Instagram page. It is truly a masterpiece for Instagram. God, it's a
mess. I'm like, oh man.
Did you see? Wait, do you watch it? Do you look at it like every day?
Oh yeah.
Did you see the one with the two women that were dancing? It was like nighttime. They were at dinner and it was raining, and they were like in latex, and it was like a stream of water was coming down from the awning, and they were just like dancing and letting it run on them.
No, I don't think I saw that one. Yeah.
I mean, hair was all wet and stuck to her face.
A mess. Oh, I didn't see that one.
I love Florida. I don't care what y'all say. I love Florida.
Right? I'm just like, you're not going to get this anywhere else. Maybe Vegas. Maybe.
Maybe. But not to this level.
We're different.
Man, you can go anywhere down here and just see some foolishness, literally, left and right.
Hilarious. Like, me and Jeff would be looking, we were like, how'd you even get your car that way?
And why?
Did you just see someone in armor walking down the street?
And look and just be like, I don't know what they're doing, but whatever.
Like,
so immune to it.
Right. You're just like, huh, okay.
That was interesting. Okay.
Like,
Oh,
we
but
were pulling up to work one time, and there was this woman in the middle of the street, like right before our entrance, and she was just like yelling at cars, like just in her bonnet and in her house socks, just yelling at cars. And I'm like, and in front of our security, and our security is just like letting her do her thing, and everyone's just like kind of just calmly moving around her, like no one is paying her any mind. And me and Jeff are just like, so we're just gonna, okay, we're gonna ignore it. Okay,
yep,
it's fine. She could just be
we're gonna let
having
her
a nervous breakdown or something, but it's fine. We're just
It's
gonna,
fine. She'll be good. She'll work it out.
we're just gonna go around her. It's fine.
Right. She said, if y'all don't get these cars off my lawn,
Basically,
I'm like, girl,
like it was literally like she just came out the house and was just like, you know what? I'm cussing all these cars out right now, all of them. They're too loud. They're too noisy. It was just like she was just going off. I'm just like, what is happening?
Okay, cool. And then, but here's the thing. Then when you be recording people, at least when I found out, like, they don't care. They don't be paying you no mind. I'd be like, oh, they don't care.
Yep.
Well, if you like it, I love it. Give me a couple
like,
followers or two.
Or they'd be like, oh, that's Buki. She does this every Thursday.
Right. This we used to this.
Mommy, look at this.
It's so pretty.
Thousand stuff.
Go inside, sweetie.
Well, what you got planned for today? Because your baby girl, she said, "Look, it's time. It's about that like, time, mama."
Well, like a big thing I wanted to start this year on top of the Little Rockets. I don't know if you saw the video on my page last spring, but we did an HBCU Beach Invitational where we invited like a bunch of college athletes and some juniors to our campus, and we're just trying to like teach them beach volleyball. They're all indoor players, and they're all brown skin or black, and just trying to show them and expose them to beach volleyball, right?
Yeah.
And Jeff Samuels was my guest coach, and Allie Denny as well. And we did a 1-day clinic, and then the second day was a king and queen of the beach style tournament. So everyone got to play and everything, and then we had some people get crowned queen and king of the beach. So, and it was so fun, like it was so successful. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I want to kind of do that as a series. So my plan for today, before beach gets really crazy, is to kind of map out and plan it out.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. And plan it out so I can do at least maybe 4 or 5 stops.
Okay.
You know, and I'm gonna work with different clubs in different areas. Like I wanted to do one in maybe Montgomery, Detroit, maybe Chicago, and then maybe have the opener here.
Okay.
And so it's still like a work in progress. Like I'm still planning out the details and what I want to name it and stuff like that. But it's to encourage people that look like us to get on the beach and start playing, because there's so many more opportunities, you know. And if you don't know, like one kid was telling me, and she was at a JUCO and they have a beach.
Okay.
And it was like, you know, my coach just never really teaches me. She teaches the other kids, but then she just kind of lets me do whatever, and then she sends me back indoors. And I'm like, that's just it. That sucks, you know.
Waste of time. That's a waste of the coach's time.
And she was a good player, and she started learning really fast. Like, you know, like it was a lot of information on that clinic day, but they all were learning very fast. We broke it down so well for them, you know.
Yeah.
You want to? Well, let me finish first, and then I open. Okay. But no, like they really learned a lot, you know, and they all started to like love it, you know. And like another kid, like he was going to Edward Waters, and he was like, wow, like I really love the beach, like this is gonna make my game so much better, you know. Like they were really like taking to it, and it was only a 2-day event, you know. So like, it could be something really cool, you know. So that's my plan for today.
That's a really good. That is a great plan. Two things. Edward Waters just started their men's program,
I
and they're playing
know.
Hawaii, #1 team in the country. I'm like,
Yeah, I know. I was like, Hawaii.
right. He said, "Look, if we doing it, we doing it." So
Okay, right. He just wanted to go
I
to
was like,
Hawaii.
"Well, hey, they got to get
Let's just be
exposure."
serious. I was
So
like, come on, Brandon. You just want to go to Hawaii. That is all
and
that.
they are being and Hawaii is hosting them too. So I was like,
Okay.
"Well, hey, but that's good though because they get a chance to because that's what we want for our
Yeah.
athletes to be like, yo, no, you can be in a program that travels to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Then I guarantee you, them boys didn't think
Of
when that program
course.
started they would be going to
That they were going to
Hawaii.
Hawaii, right? He
That's
exposed them to a whole new world just in 1 year. Just in 1 year.
yes, the like
Starting here.
the inspiration that these boys are about to have. Like
Exactly.
I was like, ooh, so I can't wait. He already said, Coach Brandon said he already wanted to be on the podcast. So I was like,
Yeah.
yes. So I'm waiting till he got a little downtime, and then we'll
Right?
we'll piggyback and do our thing. But when you said the clinic for the beach athletes, I was talking to Coach White and then Coach Powell.
Yeah.
And that's what they invited me to go. And this summer they go up to Chicago, and they
Nice.
have just like 500, 600 athletes,
Yeah.
and they just coach all
Hmm.
brown, all black skin coach
Yeah.
athletes, and just all HBCU
Yep.
head coaches and assistant coaches, and they just pour knowledge into
Yeah.
these kids. So I think that'll be a really good idea to if they have maybe do like each stop have a beach and then also indoor,
Yeah.
and maybe they get a chance to do both. Maybe like
Exactly.
I don't know, one day I don't know how long it would be, but like half the time you do indoor,
Hmm.
half the time you do beach, or
Right.
break it up and see which one they would rather do or they find
Yeah.
more interesting or whatever.
Yeah.
But maybe
For sure.
coincide that with your stops with them, and then that could grow,
I know. This thing
and
could
then you can
just
start
grow
having
so
tournaments and
much.
stuff through the
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yep.
ridiculous.
I know, right? It would be. I think it could be something really special, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like last year, I interviewed. Well, actually, Jeff Samuels interviewed my mom and Dane Blanton, and Dane said something to me like he was like, I've been waiting for someone else like us to get on that podium, and it just hasn't happened yet. And I was just like, dang, that's true. Like it's only been Dane on that
That's
podium
it.
for beach.
And
That's it.
then it's only been Dane, but it's not even like it's well known that Dane has
Yeah.
been on the podium.
Right.
So it's like, well, damn, like
Yeah.
again, we've been there, we've done that,
Yeah.
but now we got to get everybody like, no, like, oh, I want to be the first, black
Yeah. Like I want to
Olympian,
be
blah blah blah, and I'm like, no, you could
exactly
be the second.
the second.
There was a first, absolutely. I'm gonna have to. You
It's
need to
been
get
so
on
long
Dane.
ago.
Hmm.
It's been so long ago. You know?
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. And I asked. You need to tell Dane. Do you have his number?
Huh?
Do you have Dane's number?
Yeah.
Okay, you need to get on him and tell him I don't appreciate him looking at my invite to be on my podcast and then just not responding back. I know he running the D1
He's a
program and
busy
all.
man.
I know,
He's a busy
but
man.
still. No, I know he busy, and then he be doing stuff for like the AVP,
Yep.
and so he is as Ricky Thompson said, booked and busy, baby, booked and busy.
Yep.
But that's good.
He's a
I'm
hard
trying.
man to catch. I know.
Ugh. All right, boo boo. Well, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much for
Thank you
coming
for
back
having
on.
me. This was fun.
This was fun. This was fun. I got everything I need.
Awesome.
I'm gonna put it together. This gonna be a good episode.
I'm
This gonna be
glad.
my MLK episode, and we definitely got
Boom.
some.
Thank you.
Yes. You have a good day, and
You too.
tell your hubby I said hello.
I will.
And you know, give baby girl some kisses.
I know, right? Have a great day.
Thank you. You too, boo boo. Bye bye.
Bye.